Guys, I've got Tim here from the School of Calisthenics. Today I am going to be teaching him the iron cross, or starting him on his journey towards the iron cross. We're going to give it a go. There's a lot of people out there that probably think iron cross is impossible, but honestly, it's like anything else. You get started, do the right preparations, there's no reason why you can't get there. We're going to give it a go, see what happens. How you feeling, Tim?
Mate, I'm a bit nervous because I've had a few shoulder issues in the past, a number of dislocations, 2 surgeries, so this is firmly rooted in that impossible box for me. But I wanna, if I can do it, next level skills, right?
We'll give it a go, man. Give it a go and see how we get on. Sweet. Just support walking towards the end. So we want to really concentrate on getting your arms locked out in that straight position. So what you're going to want to do is get into like a nice tight position again, like we were doing on the floor.
Yeah.
And you're just going to walk to the end of the parallel bars like that.
Yeah.
And then once you get to the end, walk backwards. Just keep nice and locked out and just, yeah, that's it. So push down on the bar. That's it. That's good. It's a nice strong position there. Yeah, so that's a good one. And then, yeah, just if you can move backwards, just keep nice and tight. Try and keep your legs together, because you're just going to want to be as efficient as possible when we try this on the rings and we start doing the crucifix. That's his first really basic exercise, and that's just going to help you concentrate on keeping your arms locked out, because when we get onto the rings and we add that variable of the rings moving, it's going to make it much more difficult.
Yep.
So that's the first one. Second exercise is for kind of like almost to build your strength up in this range. So we call them like upper arm chicken dips.
Okay.
So what you can do is you're going to bend your legs like this. You can do it straight legs, but the bars we've got here aren't so high. And a lot of I believe like in the gyms you use, and gyms like yours, they're normally quite low, right?
Yeah, we don't have super high bars.
Yeah, so you can just keep your legs bent like this, and all you're going to do is lower down into this range and push back up.
Okay.
So that's a chicken dip. So you're going to do this, and you want to do 10 of these, and then you're going to do circles forwards. Again, 10 and circles backwards. And you're just working into that range, because eventually you're going to be in a crucifix range, and you've got to be strong here.
Okay, so hands on the side here.
Yeah, so hands on the side there, rest on your biceps, tuck your legs. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so really good range, and then you can do this exercise already quite well. So all you're going to do is add weight to this.
Okay.
So you're going to, once you've got it really easily, you're just going to put a weight jacket on, put ankle weights on. It's
And circles.
Yeah, in circles like that. That's it. That's good, man. Just circles forwards and backwards, and that's just going to start to develop that strength in your pecs, the front of your shoulders, and the back of your shoulders. Because the cross is a weird position. It's probably something you're going to use muscles you've never used before, so you can't just start from scratch and go, let's go and try a cross.
You're starting super tight in here, so you can build that strength instead easy.
And then another one you can just add into this one, which is quite easy, is again just lifting there and just doing side to side, like this. So give that one a go, see how that is. Yeah, nice. And again, just add weight. You can add ankle weight or add a weight jacket just to make that harder.
And the key is just to keep pushed down, right?
Yeah,
stay high.
You're just going to keep. You want to be in this strong position. It's almost if you sit here in this position now, you can take your arms off and imagine you're in a cross position. This is like the position you're going to want to be in. You can almost, to be honest, you can almost try and imagine you're on the rings. You know, there's a lot of visualization that's going to go into learning a lot of these strength movements. You probably find yourself when you're learning handstand, you almost visualize what you're going to do, go try and see it. Yeah, so that's really good. So you can practice just being in that position. Almost you can put ankle weights on or a weight jacket on and go down and just press in this position. Because this is the movement you're going to want to get used to.
And that's where it comes from when on the rings, right? It's that pushing down to stay high.
The next exercise we're going to do is like a strength-based one. It's just wide arm dips, like on the bars. So you're going to put one arm here, one here, and essentially you've got to try and get as wide as possible. And you're just going to go down into this range and press up. And again, this is going to work the right muscles for that crucifix that you've probably not done before.
Yeah, no, never done a dip like this before.
Yeah. So yeah, you got the bars there. You put that whichever hand's your dominant hand, and then try it like that, and then eventually you're just going to get wider and wider.
So I'm going to my body's going to be like a 45 degree angle.
Almost be a 45 degree angle.
So I can hear.
Yeah, and you're going to go down. Yeah, there you go. And then you're just going to get a bit wider. And again, like with everything, a lot of what we do in gymnastics is adding weight to exercises we get stronger at. Yeah, so that's really good. That exercise is going to work the muscles that you need then to do the cross. You don't want to be going to some crazy range. Yeah. Because that's just not going to, it's going to put a lot of stress on your deltoids and you don't need that.
So if I'm going to get
that,
feel like
that's
that
perfect, yeah. That's perfect. And that's going to work. That's going to work the exact range you're going to need.
I like that. Just for like, even aside from the cross stuff, but just changing that
Just mixes it up, just mixes it up.
Yeah, but it puts a way more load out. So if we were going to go from a strength perspective, like normal dips in here, having the shoulders out here is just going to get that chest a load more.
Yeah. Like so they're the first few basic exercises we got there on the parallel bar. So now we're going to head over to the rings and get started over there. Tim, now we've moved on to the rings. We've been on the parallel bars, we've done some basic strength exercises which are going to get those muscles you need for the cross activated. Now on the rings, before you even think about going for a crucifix, you've got to have a perfect support position. And what I mean by that is you've got to have your hands completely straight, they've got to be turned out, they've got to be completely locked out, and you want it to be as tight as possible, all through your core into your legs.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you a bad support position and a good support position. So a bad support position is rings turned in, hands like this. You want to be out, straight arms like that.
Sort of 10 to 2 with the hands.
Yeah. So to start off, it's hard. You can have your hands a lot closer, and you start to get them a little bit wider. But first of all, you just want to be in that perfect position, and you want to be holding it as long as possible.
And do you feel like in that shape that, so if I'm going to go in here, am I trying to pull in tight from the front?
Yeah,
you don't want to open up.
You don't want to open up. You want to, like you said just then, pull in tight. So the positions you were making, like on the bars, were good. So when you were walking, you were in a nice, strong, like almost like you were pushing up, which is essentially when we lower down to that cross, we almost want to be pulling in here to be in this position.
Yeah. Safe for the shoulder, right?
So right, that's it. So you can bring your rings in a little bit closer. Yeah. So you're going to squeeze, and that's what you're just going to hold that position. So first of all, you just need to be able to hold this position securely, and you've got to build that up towards 30-40 seconds. But that's not bad. That's not bad.
It's hard, you know. The complexity comes from that movement. Rotation.
Yeah, it's really tough. So the difference between keeping your arms in and keeping your arms out is huge.
And would you just you spend some time just trying to build that up?
You just got to build that time up. It's going to take time. So this might take a few weeks to, you're starting off with 10 seconds, you start at 15, you just got to build that capacity up in the shoulders to be able to, and also you're just adding in that factor of the rings moving. Like it's a big thing. There's no other apparatus like in gymnastics or calisthenics as well that move.
So the interesting thing about this is that we would normally hang that rings off a bar about that height. As soon as I jumped up, I could feel they were higher.
So yeah, so the
way more
and also the difference is like the length of the wires. Yeah. So the shorter the wires are, the easier it's going to be to hold those strength skills. So like these ones, I find it hard doing a handstand on these compared to doing a handstand up there because the wires are a lot longer. Yeah. So again, it just adds more of that instability to it.
So do I need to be doing like those bar exercises?
So these,
can do at the same time?
So I said at the same time. So these exercises over here are just to like prepare your body to be able to take the load when you go over to the rings. So this is like the first exercise you need to be able to do on the rings is just holding that support position. And then essentially all you do, once you can hold it for 30-40 seconds by yourself, then you just go again for 10 but go a bit wider. You go a bit wider. It's just a natural progression like as you go into the cross. And then we've got some preparations now, some stuff that you can use that's going to make it a little bit easier. Right, Tim, with this we're going to begin to start holding in that wider position. So again, it's the same thing. Just got to increase the time you're going to hold, but it's going to get you used to being in that position. Eventually, you're going to use a lighter elastic, have it looser, and it's just gradually going to build that up again.
So when I start to take the rings out, do I need to still be thinking about rotating outwards?
just don't think about rotating out, just think about keeping your arms straight. You keep your arms straight, they're not going to stay in, they're going to turn out naturally. Right, so you get into that support position, turn your rings out, and try and just go a little bit. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And you have someone supporting you as well, helping you in this position, so you can start to feel the muscles you're going to need. So also what you can do is just tiny little presses. Just tiny little presses like that to get you stronger in that position. You good?
Yep.
Nice. That's good, right?
Yeah.
So you can start to feel the right muscles and you can think, okay, that's how it should feel, and eventually you just progress that by using the...
The interesting thing is when it starts to go out, the stuff that we did on the bars, I feel like I want to sink. So I've got to keep like staying high in between.
So the stuff you did on the bars, yes, but when we were getting into the hang, we were lowering, but then when you were pushing up, you were into this nice strong position. So that's just to help that range because that's what we're going to like be moving in.
And I need to be like super strict on starting to try and keep the arms straight, because it's easy obviously to want to bend it. I've got to train
100%. When you start off, just keep the arms straight.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to be a bad habit to get out of.
Yeah.
And again, it's just not an efficient way of doing a cross, and it's not the correct way of doing a cross. So the next thing we've got are the loop rings. So we've got, these are called the loop rings. When we start learning crosses, so the little boys in the gym, 12, 13 years of age, will start working on these. And essentially, they just hook onto the rings, and what they do is, they're just going to make your lever a lot shorter and make it a lot easier for you to start getting into that position. So when you start off, you can actually see the scars on my hand from how much I do this. But you're going to start off with it right up towards your elbow. This will allow you to keep your arms straight and start to lower into that range.
So it's bridging that gap between what we were doing on the
so it's jumping that gap between the bars, and then on the rings it's just taking that that loading off to make it a bit easier. And so you'll find yourself, you'll probably be able to keep, it will help keep your arms straight, because you've got to keep them straight. You can't bend your arms on here, it's very difficult. So you can just slowly lower into that position, almost start to hold it and get down into the actual cross position. So without doing a cross, you can get in that position already and start feeling what it's like to do a cross.
So go up into like
go up into that support position again. You'll find it, you should find it easier to keep your arms straight and be in that support position. Just get to that support position, nice and strong. Now you can start by yourself to get a little bit. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. There you go, so it's not bad. So like you can see now, you can practice being in that position, you can get your arms so you can drop down, so you can feel what muscles need to be working, what needs to be switched on. And now the thing for you is, what I would say now is you just need to go a little bit, but just focus on keeping your arms locked out.
Keep it straight.
And progressively then you just move the straps further and further down your wrists, so there's less of that.
And you actually, when you're in that position, like I feel like it's quite easy for me to let that go. So do you kind of wind that up the whole time and trying to stay in tight?
So I'm trying to just stay in that position and just not let it loose or pipe forward.
Because I feel like I'm going to go out of that and I end up in here. So I'm constantly thinking in that shape and I'm trying to
It's a weird position, because like you want your shoulders to be sat in this normal position, like normally, but in a cross you don't. You want to be in that almost, and that's why gymnasts have got these shoulders set, because you're so conditioned in the front here to set in that position.
I love it though, like the challenge of it. Like it's quite exciting, because I can feel like, okay,
you can feel how, you can see how you can make that natural progression like you would with a handstand. There's that clear understanding of, I start with this and move on to this, get stronger at this, and then eventually the outcome's this.
The interesting thing with this kind of work is, it's like you said before, it's time and attention. So actually, it's not that glamorous, but you just got to put time in.
You've just got to spend the time and just get the work done.
Nice.
Right, so we've shown Tim today the natural progressions. This is where you're going to start from if you want to start your cross journey. These are the conditioning exercises you need to do. Eventually, hopefully, for Tim we're saying 6 months time, we're going to see how that goes, but you're going to get to a full iron cross. I'm going to try one today. Yeah, that's fine. Hardest bit is landing on my ankle. It was awesome to have Tim and Jacko in the gym for a session. If you like this video, head over to the School of Calisthenics YouTube page. The link is going to be in the description to check out my 5 best tips to mastering the handstand. Now, we've got some awesome content coming on the way with those guys, so stay tuned.